Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome to another episode of the monthly portfolio series. It's hard to believe that it's been another month already. This video is a few days late. I've just been working a lot, so I had to wait until the weekend before I had some time to actually get this done. But I did find some time to take some screenshots and get some Wealthsimple numbers for you. So at least now you can see it directly from Wealthsimple. If you watched the last video, I did just post the text there. This will hopefully be a little bit better. You can actually see the Wealthsimple screenshots, and I'll try to do that going forward. Maybe in the future as well, I can actually get a screen recording if I have time to do that on the last day of the month. Unfortunately, Wealthsimple does not allow you to just select one whole month. You can view the last 30 days of return, but that's 30 days to the date. That means that if, for example, next month I want to show you the month of September, I actually have to go take screenshots on September 31st, because that will give me a 30-day period. I cannot just view September as a whole month. If, say, now it's, October 10th, I can't look back and just see September. Hopefully that's a feature that they will add in the future, and I actually did send them a feedback message about that. I'm not sure if they'll get that, read that, or implement that, but that's the best I can do. So let's jump into it. Let's see what happened for me in the month of August. All right, we'll start with the TFSA because that's what we always do. And the TFSA is the only account where I've actually shown my true balance. So I don't mind showing my full balance here because I've already done that. However, unfortunately, I know some of you do want to see my entire portfolio and thus my entire balance. But at this point in time, I'm just not ready to do that. Maybe in the future, if I get more subscribers and I'm monetized and I'm actually making money off of YouTube, that's something that I would consider. But right now, this is a hobby. It's to help you guys out. And of course, it's to keep track of my own personal wealth and goals as well. So I will continue to keep showing my tax-free savings account balance in full. However, I will not be showing the total of my portfolio at this time. So with the TFSA, looks like I'm at $154,000. And for the month of August, I've got a 2.81% return, which comes out to exactly $4,203. Once again, no surprise, I haven't changed anything with this account. It is 100% invested in XEQT. So there's nothing going on here. It's straightforward, just as it was for the last month. So a nice 2.81% over the last month for doing nothing. You know what? I'm fine with that. I'll take it. Let's jump over to the RRSP and take a look at that. Okay, so with the RRSP, we've got a gain of $2,266.74. Now, as I mentioned in my previous monthly video, I do have some bonds in my RRSP, so the returns are generally a little bit lower than my other accounts. However, the returns in the RRSP do tend to be more stable. It's a less volatile account than any of my other accounts. So overall, I am happy with that return. I am actually still contributing small amounts to my RRSP as I have not completely maxed it out for this year yet. I tend to dollar cost average into my RRSP over the year as opposed to just doing a lump sum. So I do still have some contributions going into that account. Other than that, nothing's changed. I haven't switched the investments at all. I do hold XEQT in that as well as some bonds, but nothing crazy, nothing fancy. So it's just kind of going through the motions there. I will actually be adding more to this account in the following month in September. I did double check my RSP contribution room, and I do have a little bit of room that I can use that I wasn't going to use this year, but I think I actually am going to use that. So I am going to be contributing a little bit more to this account probably in the next week or so. I'm thinking that I will buy more bonds just before the interest rate announcements. I'm pretty sure that the US and Canada are both going to reduce rates, probably just by a quarter point. But I do want to get into those bonds before that happens. Now, we'll jump over to the non-registered account. This is my favorite account because this is the account that I actually have the most fun in. I have a gain of $4,938.52 for last month. The great thing about this account is the flexibility and using margin, which I've alluded to before. The interesting part is my non-registered account is actually smaller than both my TFSA and my RRSP, but it actually produced a greater return. That is because of the strategies that I use and I implement and the trading that I do. Some of that, of course, if you're interested, you can look at the video that I posted a while back called The Lazy Way I Make $50 a Day. I'll leave the link in the description so you can check that out if you want to. But over the last month, some of the trades that I've made, just like the month before, I did short Bitcoin again. I also did a couple other crypto trades in there, but not heavily. Mostly just shorting Bitcoin, maybe a little bit of Ethereum here and there. But I never went long, so I don't actually ever trade crypto long. I have my long-term holdings that I never touch. But if I'm trading crypto, I'm always short. I do not trade long crypto. So I made some money off shorting crypto and then, of course, selling covered calls on SPY. There were some great opportunities last month. In particular, a few days where I would say that the chances of anything going severely wrong were quite low. So I capitalized on those days. I may have taken a little bit extra risk than I should have. There was one day where, I was looking at the market, checking things out, looking at the option chain, and you know what? I threw close to $500,000 on options on SPY because it made sense. And you know what? It all panned out. It worked in my favor. So those opportunities, they do come up, not too frequently, but usually every few weeks to a month, you'll have one nice opportunity like that. So I try to take them when I can, and I also try to keep my risk in check when I can as well. But, we're humans. Sometimes it is a little bit difficult to, see the other side of the coin if things go against you. But thankfully, everything worked out this month. I actually didn't have a single losing trade for the month of August. And I went back and checked my activity there, and I made over 40 trades last month. So that's not too bad. Anyways, I'm very impressed with the return in the non-registered account for this month. Hopefully I can keep it up for the following month here in September. I don't know if I can do that. As I said, there were some pretty circumstantial opportunities that showed up, but definitely I will at least try to get that return for the following month. Let's jump into my crypto account because it's my least favorite account. I actually hate that account. And to be fair, I'm only buying crypto because everybody else does. So let's see what I did. All right, so crypto, I only hold Bitcoin and I lost $442.84, which is complete garbage. Not that it's a huge deal, really. I still made that money because I was shorting Bitcoin in my non-registered account. So that $442 loss, it happened in this account, but I gained more than that in my non-registered account. So it doesn't really matter, but I am still going to keep adding to this account. I do actually add to this account on an ongoing basis. Like I said, it's a very small part of my portfolio. I really don't believe in crypto at all, but I am just buying it because everybody else is buying it. I don't see a use case for it necessarily. I really think it's just more of a big joke, but if other people are buying it and they've made ETFs for it and it shows on the front page of MarketWatch, it's on Yahoo Finance, it's definitely not going away. So I'm assuming it's going to become a type of asset class. Some people would say it already is that type of asset class, like gold or another type of commodity, a useless commodity, really. But in the developed world, in first world countries, there's really no use for crypto. If you're somewhere like Venezuela or Argentina, you've got inflation at 150% and your currency is worthless against the US dollar, which is also becoming worthless every day, then yes, it can make sense to hold Bitcoin. I do understand that. But most people watching this channel are in Canada. In fact, over 85% of my viewers are in Canada, and about 12% are in the US. Got some in Australia and Germany and Japan. But, the majority of you live in developed nations, right? In fact, 99% of my viewers are in first world countries. So really, there's no point holding Bitcoin other than the fact that everybody else does. And you are kind of running on, the backs of those other countries and people in those countries. So you're kind of getting rich off of those people buying it because of the severe inflation and currency debasement that they're having. Of course, you're also getting rich off the backs of companies like MicroStrategy and all those other companies that just, one day decide that they're going to start putting Bitcoin on their balance sheet. And that's fine. That's the way it works. I'm okay with that. But that's the reason that the account is such a small portion of my portfolio overall. I just don't think that it really makes that much sense going forward. So I am still going to keep adding to it. I will still keep posting about it. I may, if I get some comments here, do a video on either crypto or Bitcoin or both. But yes, the account here is fully Bitcoin, and that's all I have. I will prevent rambling about crypto, and we'll jump to the year-to-date return. Okay, so year-to-date, we've got a return of $33,453.45. I apologize as well if I'm not looking at the camera. Yes, I have my laptop here. These are raw videos. If I do an educational video or any other video for that matter, I do script it, but as I said in my last video, this is raw. If we were going to talk sitting on the couch face to face, this is exactly how it would be, and I want that to come through to you. So no script, no memorizing. So overall, I'm happy with this return so far. There was that dip in April because of the tariffs, so that kind of hurt some of my returns, especially because I was trading on margin at that time. So I lost more than probably some other people did, especially, anyone who was just invested in an index ETF. I have lost more. Of course, it shows over this past month that I've also made more by using margin, but I definitely did lose quite a bit in April. If that had not happened, I probably would have been up quite a bit more this year. But that's life. That's the way it goes. I'm not upset about it. I'm moving on. I would like to see. I would like to see a break of 40,000 for the year. I think that would be nice. However, I do think that the market is getting quite high. I usually don't get scared. I usually am not bearish, but I would say that I'm starting to turn that way. So this is the part of the video where I give you my insights, how I'm feeling. And the last month, I believe I spoke about interest rates and how I think they're going to come down. I've spoken a little bit about that already in this video. I also spoke last month about how the tariffs, I don't think, are a big deal. And I think that the market has proven that to be true. But going forward, okay, even though I do think that the rates are going to be lowered, I think it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news type of event. So what I mean by that, if you haven't heard that before, is that people will buy stocks or assets leading up to an event or a news or what they think might happen. But when that news comes out, even if it's what they thought was going to happen, a lot of the times there can be a sell-off, even if they've got the news that they expected. The reason being is because, well, after the news is out of the bag, the excitement's gone. Well, everybody already anticipated that. So what's the forward-looking news now, right? It's already been built up. And I think we could see that. I think there's pressure for the rates to be lowered. And I think that the rates are going to be lowered with the stipulation that they're going to reserve the right to, either hold the rates flat, or they're still cautious. They're still worried about how the tariffs might impact inflation, et cetera, et cetera. They're going to be worried about job numbers, blah, 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 all this stuff. So they are going to say that. I don't even really watch the press conferences or the meetings that often. I've watched so many in the past. You pretty much get a sense for how they're going to go. So, that's how I feel. Of course, it's a feeling. I'm not always correct, but at this stage in the game, I would not be surprised if we start to level out here. So I'm not really banking on any huge upside from this point forward for the rest of the year. Another reason is the gold price. So, for the past year, really, gold has been going up. And you know what? I've got a video coming up on gold next Saturday. So that's going to be my next video posted in a week from now. We're going to talk about gold because gold is interesting. Gold has been going up quite substantially over the last year, and more importantly, over the last little while. There was a couple weeks there where gold was basically green every single day. There's a reason for that. There is a reason for that. And it's not just because of inflation, because inflation's coming down, right? And we know that inflation has stopped, creeping up. So if inflation has stopped creeping up, but gold is still going up, well, that means that some people are worried. And I'm worried too, right? So that's reinforcing my beliefs that we might be coming to a point where we stop getting these gains every single day. The market is not green every single day. And I'm all for that. I think that's healthy. We've had a good run up, but at some point, all good things have to come to an end. And I think that we're getting to that point. Other than that, I'm not changing my strategy at all. By no means am I selling anything. I am, however, going a little bit more bond heavy. So back to my discussion with the RRSP. I think I am going to use a little bit more of that contribution room that I have. And I am going to just max it out. So I am going to max out my RRSP. And I'm not going to touch the XEQT portion of my RRSP. But I am just going to buy extra bonds. Now, that's not going to skew my asset allocation too much. I might be a little bit heavier bonds temporarily than I normally want to be. But at this point in time, when we've seen the market ripping ahead and gold is ripping ahead, and it's my belief that rates are going to be lowered, to me, it makes sense to jump into bonds at this point in time. So that's what I'm going to do. If things turn out the way that I think, and maybe the stock market comes down a bit, the bonds might go up a little bit, then I may sell some of the bonds and actually rotate it into my stock holdings or my XEQT position. With that being said, I think that's the end of the video. I don't really have much more to say about it other than I'm quite happy with the returns. Oh, sorry, I did not give you the total month. Let's take a look here. Where is it? Here it is. The total return for the past month comes in at $10,964.58. So we're just shy of $11,000 total for the month of September. I did receive a comment on my last video saying that my previous monthly portfolio update was a little bit boring. And hey, I appreciate that. We're talking about finance here, and we're talking about my own personal account. So, I understand if people don't think it's that exciting. It's probably more exciting for me because it's my own money. Your portfolio is going to be more exciting for you because it is your own money and your own journey. But this is really just to show what can be done, especially for those starting out, how portfolios can grow over time. And for those who are not just starting out, but for those who have been investing, it's good just to see, what's going on with other people. How are they feeling? Overall, any finance head is going to find this at least a little bit interesting. So, you're not watching a Pixar film or a horror film here. This is not Hollywood. It's not meant to be very entertaining. It's meant to show you exactly what's going on with my accounts, but hopefully I can adjust that in the future to give you more of a live update on Wealthsimple. I know the screenshots can be a little bit raw and boring there, and especially when I'm just talking to the camera. I'm not thinking about puns or jokes or anything. I'm thinking about the facts and the data and getting that to you. So if you made it this far in the video, I do appreciate that. I hope you at least enjoyed a little bit of it, or at least found it a little bit interesting. Until next time, thank you for watching Snackable Wealth. Please hit that subscribe button so that you don't miss out on the next monthly update. Thanks again for watching. Take care.